Join me as I dive deep into the question of whether World War III could kick off with a nuclear war, and I'll try to connect the dots on this intense topic. The threat of nuclear war has never been more pressing. With global tensions on the rise, the possibility of a nuclear conflict becoming the spark that ignites World War III is a very real concern. It's a topic that's often whispered about in hushed tones, but it's time we face the reality of this threat head-on. The modern era of nuclear warfare began in the aftermath of World War II, with the United States and Soviet Union engaging in a decades-long standoff that would come to be known as the Cold War. During this time, the threat of nuclear war hung precariously in the balance, with a single misstep capable of unleashing devastating consequences. Fast forward to today, and we find ourselves in a geopolitical landscape marked by rising tensions between global superpowers, rogue states, and non-state actors. The current international landscape is a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and proxy wars. The United States, Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran are just a few of the key players vying for power and influence in a world where the rules of engagement are constantly evolving. It's against this backdrop of great power, rivalry, and nuclear brinkmanship that the threat of nuclear war becomes increasingly plausible. In recent years, we've seen a resurgence of great power competition, marked by a gradual erosion of the international norms and institutions that were established in the aftermath of World War II. As the global order continues to shift, the risks of nuclear conflict have increased, with some experts warning that we're currently living through a period of heightened risk. Russia's annexation of Crimea, China's military expansion in the South China Sea, and North Korea's nuclear brinkmanship have all contributed to a sense of unease and uncertainty. The world is a complex and interconnected place, and the consequences of a nuclear conflict would be felt far beyond the immediate theater of war. Key players like the United States, Russia, and China have invested heavily in modernizing their nuclear arsenals, with some estimates suggesting that the global nuclear stockpile is set to increase in the coming years. The nuclear triad, consisting of intercontinental ballistic missiles, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, and strategic bombers, remains a cornerstone of military strategy for many nations, with nuclear deterrence seen as a vital component of national security. In recent conflicts, we've seen the increasing importance of non-state actors, such as terrorist organizations and cyber warriors, who often operate outside the traditional boundaries of nation-states. The threat of nuclear terrorism, where rogue states or non-state actors acquire nuclear weapons, remains a grave concern, with the potential to wreak havoc on a global scale. The role of nuclear weapons in military strategy has evolved significantly over the years, with many nations now viewing them as a vital tool for deterrence rather than a means of waging war. However, as we've seen in recent years, the precarious nature of this strategy has led to a number of close calls and near misses, where the threat of nuclear war has come perilously close to reality. One recent development that has sparked widespread concern is the collapse of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, a landmark agreement signed by the United States and Soviet Union in the 1980s. The treaty's collapse has raised fears that we're entering a new era of nuclear competition, where the risks of nuclear conflict are higher than ever. Take the example of the recent India-Pakistan standoff, where a combination of factors including military mobilization, inflammatory rhetoric, and a breakdown in communication brought the two nuclear-armed nations to the brink of conflict. The stakes were raised even higher by the presence of China, which has long been a major player in the region. As we teeter on the edge of the unknown, the consequences of nuclear war become all too clear. Global economic collapse, widespread destruction, and a significant loss of life are just a few of the potential outcomes of a nuclear conflict. So what can we take away from this complex and often frightening picture? The reality is that the threat of nuclear war is more pressing than ever, and it's up to us to take responsibility for shaping the future we want to live in. The precarious nature of global peace demands that we remain vigilant and informed, and it's only by having these difficult conversations that we can hope to create a safer, more peaceful world. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my other videos for more insights on global issues, and let's keep the conversation going.